What is up, guys? Financial Francisco here with another video, and today I am going to be explaining why objectively raising the minimum wage could potentially not be a good decision. What I'm going to use to explain this is the concept of price floors, which is a economic concept from microeconomics. So first off, what is a price floor? A price floor is a government imposed minimum price for which a good or service can be sold. For example, if the government all of a sudden decided that every single soccer ball in the United States has to be sold at least at $10 or over, means that you're never gonna find a soccer ball sold for $9.99 or lower than that, because that price below $10 is now illegal. Every soccer ball must now be sold $10 or over. Now, to understand the effect of a such price floor, let's get on to a quick lesson on supply and demand. So supply can be shown graphically as a line going up with a positive slope. And on the x-axis is the quantity of things supplied, and on the y-axis is the price of the market of such good. So why does that graph behave in a positive slope? Is because when the market price is higher, producers want to supply a lot more of it because they want to maximize revenues. Now, on the other hand, the demand graph has a negative slope. Why? Because as the market price increases, demanders, consumers, want to buy less of it because it's more expensive. And the other way around as well. When the market price is lower, people want to buy more of things. And the point where the two supply and demand graphs meet is the equilibrium point, where there isn't a surplus of things nor a shortage. So now back to the point of price floors. So the first one is a binding price floor. So the binding price floor is when that new minimum price for such good or service is above the market equilibrium. And the second type of price floor is when the new imposed minimum price is below the market equilibrium. So what happens when we have a non-binding price floor? Nothing happens really, because it doesn't affect the equilibrium. Sure, the minimum price is lower than the market equilibrium price, but so it's not really going to affect anything, because producers are still allowed to sell at a higher price, and consumers are happy with that because the equilibrium price is above that point. And now, what happens when a price floor is set at a price higher than the equilibrium? I'm going to show you with a couple graphs right now. Alright, so here we can see the supply and demand graphs. The demand graphs are going to be how many workers firms and companies are demanding, and the supply is going to represent how many workers are willing to work. So as you can see on the price column, as the minimum price rises, more workers are willing to work, and as it decreases, the opposite happens for demand. As the minimum wage is higher, less demand for workers, and the opposite vice versa. So as you can see here, with the price floor number one, it's below the equilibrium price. So that means that the equilibrium price for minimum wage in this case is still a legal price, so there's no effect. However, on price floor number two, as you can see, where it jumps from 8 at the equilibrium, it jumps to a $16 minimum wage. That price floor is well above the equilibrium price, meaning that it is binding. So now minimum wage is $16, but as you can see, at $16, the demand for workers is only about 15, and the supply for workers, a lot of people are going to be willing to work at a $16 minimum wage. So the supply of workers is about 55. So as you can see, there is a surplus of workers. There are way too many workers and too little demand for them, because the cost of resources, in this case the cost of workers, is a lot higher. So firms are going to demand a lot less of them. So what effect is this going to have? This is going to have an effect of unemployment. That surplus of workers, the difference between the two quantities, is going to be how many people are unemployed. In this case, 55 minus 15
it's going to be equal to 40.
So now that you saw that example, that is why using price floors, raising a minimum wage, especially if it's above the market equilibrium, can be a very negative thing and have unintended consequences. If you learned something new today, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share with all your friends and family. Comment down below what I should talk about next, and see you next time. Bye bye.